Recently, I was talking with a number of college students, and we were talking about how we can use our personal story and our testimony as a means to share the gospel. And we had a lot of ideas bounce back and forth. It was exciting to talk about how our testimony is a perfect means of sharing the gospel and how a changed life story can affect someone. And I had a student pause me and say, "Hey, Blake, do you feel like these opportunities just come up for you? Is that something that just happens? Because I don't ever experience those moments where I just see the end to share my story." And I told him, no, they just don't happen on a regular weekly basis. But I am attentive to and always looking for opportunities to make this sort of turn from trivial conversation, catching up with somebody or getting to know somebody, into something more spiritual and something that has depth and substance. And so I shared this tactic with them that I've been using for a number of years, and it goes like this. Often when I'm getting to know somebody or, a few conversations into a relationship, I'll ask them, "Hey, I don't know you super well, but I'd love to hear your 2 or 3 minute autobiography of your story. Just tell me like anything that you want to share. Give me the background into your life." And people will respond to that openly because everyone loves talking about themselves. And so people will share maybe hobbies and interests, or their upbringing, their childhood, maybe some relationship dynamics they have going on, maybe some education background. And I'll be listening and attentive to each of those situations because I can find a follow-up question to ask a little bit more, dig a little bit deeper, and hopefully at some point get into some really good substance and maybe understand a little bit more about their beliefs. But what's most often in these situations is that people will reciprocate that question, and they'll ask me after they've kind of shared their story, "Well, Blake, what's your 2 or 3 minute autobiography?" And at that point, I get to share my story, and that's what's really easy to weave in the gospel, because I know that God has changed my life and how Jesus impacts me on a daily basis. And so when I share my upbringing or my education or my hobbies, it's really easy to weave in my love for Jesus and my love for the gospel. And so that happens all the time, where I get to just ask people about themselves and get to know them a little better. And if that question is reciprocated, then yes, we get to share the gospel through our story and our testimony. And if not, maybe just dig a little bit deeper and get to know these people and love them well. And maybe weeks or months into a relationship, you'll find that there are more opportunities to understand them better and understand what they believe and continue to ask those questions.